Thank you, Mr. Lawson. You legend. So, yes, I mentioned I went through rock bottom in September 2023. And what basically happened, this is kind of following on from, I think, Joe's talk. That inspired me a little bit to go here with this, because I think a lot of us can probably relate to reaching a point in your life where things are going really well. You know, you feel like you've got it figured out. You feel like shit's going great. Nothing's going to stop you now. And you're kind of on fire, right? You're trailblazing. And I'd reached this point in, let's say, it was pre-COVID. So like 2018, 2019. And I remember this defining moment where I'd been living the remote life. So business was going great, working online, building a team. And I remember being canoeing through Halong Bay in Vietnam, which, if anyone's been, is one of the most beautiful places on earth. It's like, if you've seen the film Avatar, you know, Pandora, you got the upside down mountains. It's basically like that. You know, and I'm canoeing through this place in Halong Bay on a Tuesday in the afternoon. And I remember feeling bored. And I was like, I suddenly caught myself. I was like, what the hell? Like, how dare I feel like this? You know, this was everything that I'd ever wanted. This was the life that I dreamed of. And yet, in that moment, I just kind of felt hollow. I just felt empty. And it was shocking to me to suddenly realize that this was how I was feeling in that moment. I'd made it. And so the revelation, that the kind of, I guess, realization that I got from this moment was that I'd lived my life chasing something, always chasing something. And then the fun was in the chase, the thrill was in the chase. But when I finally made it, finally got it, I realized that it was never about that. It was never about getting somewhere or having something and chasing this, you know, this ideal that I thought was going to bring me happiness and fulfillment. And so what happened after that, in a way, it was kind of like an existential crisis, right? It was realizing that if there's no fulfillment there, and I've got everything that I could ever possibly dream of, business successful, teams great, traveling the world, a life of freedom, still not enough, where in hell do I go now? You know, what could possibly be the solution? And it was terrifying. And that began the start of essentially, you know, a downfall that ended up in rock bottom. Business, lost the business went under, went from, on paper, 7 figures down to minus 250K, trying to keep the business popped up during COVID. And, you know, lost my apartment, had to sell my car. I drove an orange Porsche, and I love that car so much. It's fantastic. And when I sold that was the end of an era. And that was the sign for me that, you know, I'd kind of lost everything that I once had. And what I learned as I went into this darkness, rock bottom, was I had to come face to face with myself. It was the deepest parts of myself, the parts of myself that I didn't accept, the parts of myself that I kind of ran from my whole life. And so the one process that I thought I could, you know, share as a takeaway with you guys today it's a journaling process based on the work by Byron Katie, if anyone's ever come across that before. And what it essentially does is it follows triggers. So when you feel triggered in some way, you know, via an external event or something someone says or something, you know, that makes you feel within your body here, you follow the meanings and judgments that you have around that trigger, and it will take you to the source of the thing that's driving, you know, the negative emotions that you're feeling. And so going through rock bottom and facing the darkest, deepest parts of myself, this process enabled me to work through them, to process them. And a lot of it is typically always going to go back to childhood trauma. That's generally where, you know, all of our stuff comes from. But I want to share this because if anyone's going through a challenging time, rest assured there'll be a load of other people that are going through it too. I shared this on social media at the time, and the amount of people that I had reach out that was saying, I'm going through something similar right now too, it was just eye-opening to me. And this process, I mean, I use the word lifesaver carefully because I was never quite there, you know, I was never quite that dark, but it was revolutionary to help me come out the other side. So Byron Katie, The Work, have a look into it if you're going through a rough time. Thank you.
Beautiful, man. It's nailed it. It's so good.